Hello, everybody. I'm Alex Fracasso, Senior Product Designer for the Code Review team. And today I'm going to talk about how we are using AI to summarize a merge request. We are probably all familiar with the merge request review process. So before I'm going into how we are using AI to summarize a merge request, I'm going to give a very brief context on what a merge request is and what's the problem we want to solve. So let's dive into it. A merge request contains a variety of changes across many files and services with a project to communicate the intent of the changes, and it relates to an issue being resolved. But they might not describe what was changed to achieve that solution, and as the review cycles progress, the current state of the merge request can become obsolete with those proposed changes, so that could get people out of sync. Now, check out this merge request. This was the longest merge request I ever found. Check out that description. It's very, very long. And there is lots of changes and lots of commits. So overwhelming, isn't it? What we want, what if we use AI to summarize that description and the commit change into a brief and well-articulated short sentence? Would that content help reviewers and authors to spend less time updating the merge request? So we decide to quickly prototype an MVC that will allow us to test how useful the content generated by AI could be to our users. We used AI to summarize the merge request description and commit changes directly within the merge request. And we developed a quick action to post a summary of changes into a comment. What we are not doing here is to summarize those comments. We release this internally and start to collect feedback into an issue. And surprisingly, people find it helpful. And we had lots of engineers using it and providing feedback, which was good. We then start to cluster those feedbacks, and we had some really nice insights. And our biggest insights was to bring summaries into a more contextual position in the review cycle and to add summaries of what changed between each review cycle in a merge request, as well as summarize of review feedback to merge request authors. So let's check the review cycle flow. Alrighty. To help us have like a type of holistic view of the review cycle flow, we start to map those insights into this flow chart. This flow chart is the review flow. And if you see these orange dots, it's where we start to map potential for the AI. And we believe that that could enhance the review cycle experience. Now, imagine you have just been requested to do a merge request review. You probably receive an email and an item is added to your to-do. We want to add a brief summary of changes into that to-do and email, as you can see here and here as well. And once you click on that to-do item, you go to your merge request page. And from here, you have to click on the top right kebab icon or ellipsis icon if you're old school like me. Then it will open a drop-down menu with some merge requests actions. And in this merge request actions, you see the view summary notes. Once you click here, we are open a side drawer. And what you can see here on the top, we have a nice header with a title and the experiment label. And the copied summarize are written by AI, which communicate clearly that you are interacting with AI. Now, moving down, we have a summary list, which is organized in chronological order. So this means is that 2 days ago, the author of this merge request committed change. and the summary was generated automatically after the commit. And you can also see here the gray box that Peter Broth reviewed the change. So the author also got a notification about this review. Now, next steps. Let me go back to my slides. We are going to release this new experience as an experiment, collecting more feedback. Then we're going to release this feature as a maturity to beta. And we're going to do a solution validation. And then we're going to move this to GA if everything works well. And this is what we done with the AI feature, and I hope you try it. Yeah, let me know if you have any question. Thanks. And I'm going to stop sharing.
All right. Thanks, Alex, for that. I see that where the feature is at right now in experiment, and you have mechanisms to capture feedback and data. Just out of curiosity, like one of the goals of this feature was to save time in reviewing a merge request. How are you capturing that kind of sentiment, or are you capturing that through data that people save time in reviewing a merge request?
Yeah, good question. I don't think we are capturing that. I think we are going to release this and see how this could speed up the process of a review process on the merge request. But yeah, good question. I'm definitely going to raise this with my PM and see if we can capture that in some way. I think probably what we could do is just analyze like how quickly someone could finish a review process.
Okay. And the next question I have is about the summary that's in the drawer itself. You were saying that like Peter Broth gets a notification as well for the summaries. At the moment, we get a lot of emails. If you make a change to MR, you kind of get like, these are your commits. And then if you left a comment, you get an email on that too. Will this combine with those existing emails, or do you think this will be a separate email? Like, so I would get like 3 or like an extra email on top of that.
Yeah, another good one. We are thinking not spamming lots of emails, so we want to create one email to send together with all those changes into the same merge request. That's the plan originally.
Great. Katie has a few questions.
I just want to make sure that I understand it. So this kind of drawer that you showed, it's like a little like mini view of the entire cycle of the MR, because it's like the MR was created, this person reviewed it, now the MR is doing this. Is it kind of like, it's like the same as if you read the entire description and read every single comment, and it's just like, is that what it's doing?
Not the comment.
Oh, okay.
We're not summarizing the comment. We are only summarizing the description and the diff changes. And so once the author makes the commit, that's what we are summarizing.
Right.
So unfortunately, not the comments. This is something we raised, but not right now. At least we're not moving ahead with that.
Right. So the problem that you're solving is the MR is created, it has a certain description that's written, and maybe it evolves over time. The description may not be accurate because people are not good at updating description. So coming into this MR with not a lot of context, I can trigger this and see what the current state of the diff is in kind of natural language.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is doing right now.
Cool. That makes sense. And yeah, you mentioned that you had this feedback issue. I think you had a screenshot of it. I'm really curious, what kind of feedback did you get from that issue so far?
We got feedback around, because since the first release was you using quick actions and then summarize the merge request into a comment, we start to get feedback around this is not if you have lots of summaries created, you get a little bit lost of who created that, and like what is the latest, because it is using chronological order, but it is a bit in out of context. And also the other type of insights we start to get is that once people land into the merge request, they read all the description, and once they were already like familiarized with it, then they have the quick actions below the page. So we want to bring this into a more contextually place. That's how this idea of adding in the to-do started.
Yeah, this might be a dumb question, but I'm wondering, wouldn't users mostly care about what the current diff is and not the historical? Like what's the benefit of showing what the diff was 5 days ago?
Yeah, the most benefit we want with that is to have that history of changes, right? Like it's not that probably people will not care about it, but maybe if someone have like a question or a different type of recommendation, they could quickly see how that's evolved over time. So that's why we decide to have that history in place.
Yeah. I'm wondering if this is all my assumption A, but like if the most current diff is the most important, and you were talking about in that feedback issue that you got feedback that it could be a little bit confusing if there were a lot of summaries. I wonder if there's a way in the UI to have like the hierarchy, put a lot of emphasis on the current diff, but then if you want, you can maybe view the historical ones as like with like progressive disclosure or something like that.
Yeah, I had some designs with versions, right? So you can click on a drop down and see versions. So you only see the latest one. But for now, we decide to have everything in one, so we can quickly test this as an experiment. But yeah, I have that design. Nice that you mentioned it.
Yeah, because it's kind of like when I'm looking at the diff of an MR, I can kind of go back in time to the different commits, and it would be cool to like have the same pattern, but for the summary.
Yeah, I hope we can get to that level someday.
Yeah, cool.
All right, thanks for that, Alex. Great questions, everyone, and I'll stop the recording.